everybody. Randy Patterson here with Boomerocity. As you already know, if you've watched any of the interviews at all, you know that we here at Boomerocity absolutely love the blues. And we've had the privilege of interviewing some of the greats and a lot of the up and comers, which are going to keep the blues alive. And but there's so many greats that are out there of all ages. And we just want to do our part to make you aware of who those great artists are. And one that has been on my radar for a while, ever since I heard Joe Bonamassa talk about her and sing her praises, has been Joanna Connor. And it just so happens Joanna's got a brand new album coming out called The Best of Me, and it'll be coming out in June of this year, 2023. And I had the opportunity while she was on a day off in Florida to chat with her. And it was a great chat, very laid back and easy. And we talked about a lot of things about the album, the state of the blues, guitars, all of that. So I think you're going to really love this chat. So if you would, when you get done listening to it, would you like it on YouTube or on your podcast channel, whichever one, however you're accessing this interview? Would you mind subscribing to us so that we can keep you apprised of what's going on at Boomerocity? And also, would you please share the interview with your friends? And so until next time, this is Randy Patterson with Boomerocity. Take care. But thanks for taking the time on your day off to talk with me. That's very kind of you. I really do appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me.
I've been a fan of yours for a while. I learned about you through Joe Bonamassa plugging you somewhere a while back, and I'm a big fan of his and became a big fan of yours. So this is a thrill for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we'll get right to it. First of all, how's this post-pandemic thing been treating you now that everything's getting back to semi-normal?
Actually, it's been great. I mean, we've been working consistently. You know, we have the steady gig in Chicago 3 nights a week, and it's been booming. And then we've been traveling. We did quite a bit of traveling last year around the country and in Europe. And this year is even busier. Like I'm on a middle of a almost 5-week tour. So it feels like that never happened now. It feels like just like a bad dream.
Doesn't it though? Gosh, I mean, still see people once in a while wearing masks but when I go to live shows, it seems like almost no one is. I said it several times in other interviews. The first big live show I went to once the restrictions lifted was Eric Clapton in Nashville. And I was expecting, especially in Nashville, because they seem to be kind of hyper sensitive on that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I was stunned that I didn't see anybody wearing masks in that entire Bridgestone arena. So it's interesting how quick we're moving away from this, like a bad dream, you know?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Have you seen a lot of changes in how shows are going, how crowds are or anything, or is it pretty much normal?
I would say people aren't staying out as late as they were before. Like even at the late night venues, like back home in Chicago, where it's a really younger crowd, they don't seem to be like, there's still people doing it, but there seems to be less. I think people kind of got on an earlier schedule, but other than that, I would say no. I don't see any changes. In a way, I see people being even more appreciative of the music, you know. So that definitely I've seen.
That's what I've been seeing too. People just love to get out and see you guys play and see things get back to normal. You know, I don't see as much meet and greets anymore as I used to before the pandemic, but hey, I'd rather not go backstage and hobnob and if it makes everybody healthy. So we can see more. So, well, listen, on this album, gosh, what a great album. I know it doesn't come out for another month and a half, something like that, but man, I've been enjoying it. Congratulations on a great job there.
Thank you. You're the first person that's actually listened outside of my inner circle. So
is that right? What's your inner circle saying about it?
Oh, they all love it. You know, it's my kids and you know, our band and some of the musicians we know. So everybody's like, wow, it sounds really really good. I mean, it's really well done, and they felt it was, really different from my album with Joe, which was cool. So kind of shows, all the different things we can do. And also, the band is so good, and I think you can hear that as well, on the record.
Yeah. Yeah. What is this? Your 14th or 15th album now?
Gosh, I really, I need to count. I'm not sure. It's somewhere there. 14 or 15, yeah.
It's funny. I've never said this before to another artist, but whenever I ask that question, nobody ever knows how many it is. I don't know what it is, but I can relate to it because people ask me, well, how many interviews have you done? And I go, well, crap, I don't know, and so I have to go and pull my list, and it's a lot. So
yeah.
So how is this album different for you in putting it together compared to all the other 12, 13, 14 albums, whatever it is?
Whatever it is. Well, for one, I mean, most of the records that I did that were original, which is, probably like 70% of them, I wrote myself, I had no co-writer per se. And this is the first record where I worked with another musician, which was my bass player. And, like really that collaborated. So that was, definitely a big difference.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, you got some significant heavy hitters on this album too, huh?
Yeah.
Want to drop some names for the fans so they can hear it?
Well, for one, Joe Bonamassa is on it. And Josh Smith is on it. Gary Hoey is on it. Jason Ritchie is on it. The Groove Line horns, who are Jason Mraz horn section. Mike Zito's on it, and Abrazazi, who was Pearl Jam's drummer back when they first really hit it big. So, yeah, we got quite a collection of people on there.
A lot of out of work musicians, right?
Right.
Slackers. Yeah. So, how long did it take you to put this album together?
Well, it's funny. All the basic tracks were laid in one day.
What?
The band went in, every song was laid between the hours of like 6 and 1 in the morning. It's not even a whole day, 7 hours.
Wow.
Then I went back, and then a lot of things started happening, like weird things. Like I had the flu for 2 weeks, and then one of the guys got in a car accident. Everybody's okay, but it was like things kept like kind of weird. I lost my voice, so it took a while, only because of these strange events. But over the course of between right before Christmas, and then we were finally done. Let me think, about the middle of February. Then we were waiting for like Joe to do his solo, and he was the last one to. Well, he's a really busy guy, so it did come together. But like I said, all the tracks were laid in 7 hours.
Wow, is that normal for you?
Well, I mean, most blues records or roots records are kind of laid on a budget. Like there's not a whole lot of time. But no, I would say that was pretty amazing. Like I didn't even play on that first session. I literally sat there, and rhythm guitar player, keyboard player, bass and drummer laid all those tracks in 7 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, but they're that good. Yeah.
So which I never ask artists what their favorite song is, because it's as I always say, it's like a parent choosing their favorite child, and we're really not supposed to do that.
Right.
But so which song on the album would you use as a calling, or point to as a calling card to somebody saying, if you like this song, the rest of the album is going to blow you away?
Oh, that's really hard. See, what I think, each song brought something different to the table. Like the song I wrote, "I Lost You," is like a real blues, guitar heavy, minor blues thing, which people will be like, "Oh yeah, that's Joanna," Then we've got like the stuff that's more focused on the vocals, like "Best of Me" and "Pain and Pleasure." Then you've got more the opening track is pure funk. So even though it's all attached to like a bluesy roots, it's really hard for me to say, well, listen to this, Some of it, the thing we do with Mike is a little more pop. There's like some gospel type feelings on things. So it's hard for me to say, this defines the record. You know, we chose Best of Me. I mean, I think live we've been doing that song, a little different arrangement, and it's been going over like crazy. I mean, it's different live, you know, it's more stretched out, starts with the solo piano. I play a lot more guitar on it, and it's been going over, like, people are giving us standing ovations. So
Wow. Wow. Well, I'm kind of like you. I kind of bounce around, but at the moment, I seem to be stuck on Pain and Pleasure right now. I don't know if that's a subliminal thing or what. For
no, I almost named the album that was kind of my choice, because I felt like the album lyrically kind of went through all of that, you know, the pain and pleasure of being alive. And then people were kind of like, you know, that might be taken the wrong way or whatever. So yeah, I love that song too. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you for it. And it's a one I hit the repeat button on a lot. So, but is there any one of the songs that you feel is particularly autobiographical for you?
I would say that one.
Really?
Especially at this point in my life. I mean, I'm speaking to everyone, but it's like, you know, looking back, you know, being my age and, you know, having been through what we all went through with the pandemic. I lost my mom and she was 90. But just things that happened in my life, you know, talking about having children. I think that really is. And also, you know, just addressing mortality, but also addressing the fact that, hey, you know, we're here for a minute, and let's just get in the experience of being alive and enjoy it and do the best that we can while we're here, you know.
That's a good point. I was wondering too. I've talked to quite a few blues artists over the years, and for me as a fan, I'm not a musician. I screw up playing air guitar. So, you know, I'll just leave it to you guys. Right. So, but it seems like the blues and tell me if you think I'm wrong on this, but it seems like the blues has really been enjoying a very solid resurgence that seems to be different this time. I mean, the blues always seems to be a bit cyclical over the last, you know, in all the decades I've been alive, and I'm 63. But there's, you know, it just seems like right now there's just something very special, very specific that the blues is tapping into even the younger generation. There seems to be this groundswell of interest among younger musicians that just really, they just get it. Am I wrong about that?
No, I think you're right. I think there was yeah, I've been around it for a long time too, you know, as a listener and as a musician, seen many decades come and go. I mean, we lost all the great Chicago and, you know, BB King too, and, you know, all the Kings and, you know, Coco Taylor and all of them that were so important, like during the prime time of, like, say, from the 60s to the 80s, you know, they're all gone. And but, you know, then we had Stevie Ray, and we had the guitar heavy kind of guitar hero kind of thing. And I think now, you know, and then there was kind of a lull in a sense for a while in the 2000s. I thought there was always something happening, but now you're right. I think the younger generation, you know, people under 30, are definitely embracing it. I mean, even teens. And I've noticed that because, like, you know, the gig I play in Chicago is very young. I mean, like, after 11, everybody's under 30. And they're coming, and some of them have never heard, well, you know, the blues per se, or the kind of music we play, and they're just loving it. So I think that, you know, vinyl's coming back, and I attribute it all to the younger generation, you know. So, and then they're bringing in their own feeling. I mean, some of them are like, you know, really, really knowledgeable of the really old stuff, you know, like John Tavius Willis comes to mind. I mean, I sat and talked to him. He's literally like a walking encyclopedia of stuff from like the 1900s. And he delivers it in a way where I feel like, wow, if I was in the 20s, this is exactly what it would sound like totally legitimate. So it's and electric, you know, you got people like Kingfish, Ali Venable, you know, people like that doing their thing, and others. And it's wonderful, you know.
What do you think it is about the blues that's resonating with the young people?
Well, you know, there's a lot of different, there's still people that love pop and trend and, whatever, electronic music. I mean, there's something for everyone. The younger generation with TikTok and the 15 seconds of attention. But there's also quite a few that really want real music and the stuff with feeling and the stuff without pretense and raw emotive music, that's played well and delivered with feeling, and it appeals to them. I think they're like, we want to experience that. So, and it's not all of them, but it's enough of them. And so, the older generation, our generation and all, they've been on board, but still, even still, I meet people that are like in their 50s. Oh, I've never heard this music. This is great. Because of the lack of huge mass marketing, there's still going to be people that are like, oh, what is the blues? Is it jazz? They don't quite get it, but it's like we know anything that's good and real, it's never going to fade away. It's always going to be around.
Yeah. I think you're exactly right. I mean, it's like the t-shirt and memes. You and I probably seen a lot of it. We may be old, but we had all the great music, right? So
a little bit older than me. I mean, I meet people, I saw Jimi Hendrix. I'm like, oh my God, I was alive, but I wasn't old enough. So yeah, and we did get to see great music. I feel really, really blessed for that.
Yeah. Well, that's why I do what I do, so that I can kind of keep the older memories alive, and then also introduce my generation to up and coming artists or new artists or artists we just maybe don't realize are out there because we get in our rut. I know I get in a rut, and I have my go-to music.
Yeah.
So off the music, but onto the instrument area. Like I said, I'm not a musician, but I'm enamored with the guitar. So I'm just curious for you, what do you think is the holy grail of guitars, and do you own it?
No, Joe Bonamassa owns all of them.
Yeah, isn't that the truth?
Well, I'm really, really lucky and blessed that I have a Gibson deal. I'm a Gibson artist, so they've really been great to me the last few years. So I have some really fabulous Les Pauls, which is my instrument of choice, and I just got a custom shop Murphy Lab one, so it's kind of almost the highest end you could have. So I've been a Les Paul player a long time.
Yeah.
So that's for me. But I always, guitars are a personal choice. It's kind of like telling somebody, well, I love this kind of pizza or whatever. Everybody has their own taste. So that's my weapon of choice, the Les Paul.
Yep. Well, speaking of all of that, I haven't finished it yet, but I started the documentary on the Songbirds Museum that closed in Chattanooga, which is just a couple hours from me. And Joe's in that, Vince Gill, some of the others, but I had the privilege of going through Songbirds. Have you ever been through it?
No.
Well, it's closed now. The pandemic pretty much shut it down for good, but what a fascinating museum that was to go through and see these rare pieces. And I know Joe had been in there once or twice and, got to play on some of the stuff that was back in storage that wasn't out for everybody to see. But I was just curious if you had been through it. So what's on your radar for the rest of this year and going into next year?
Well, we have a lot of work ahead of us. We're going, right now we're down in Florida, but we're doing some stuff in Virginia, North Carolina, Ohio, Michigan. Then we're back in Chicago, but we're also going out to San Diego to play a fest. I haven't played California in years. Just a lot of hopping around, going to Europe for a little bit, and yeah, just really busy and just playing the new songs, and the band sounds better and better every day. So we're just going to bring the music to the people, and hope that people are going to purchase the record and it makes an impact.
Yep. Well, final question for you. I know you've got a lot of years ahead of you of playing and more music in you and all that. Yeah, you and me both. But no, seriously, I think there's a lot of, I think your career is so fantastic that I just see you getting bigger and bigger as the years go along. And so And hopefully I get to interview you a lot more times in the future too, now that we finally
Sure.
met. And but I'd like to ask you, how would you like, in where you're at today, when you think about it, or if you think about it, when you step off that tour bus of life up at the Great Gig in the Sky to cop a line from Pink Floyd, how do you want to be remembered? What do you hope your legacy is going to be?
What do I thought? I would just like, I don't know. I on this tour I've had a few people come up to me in tears, and people coming up to me kissing my hand. I think I want to be remembered as someone that made people feel emotion, and hopefully it was as a healing experience for them. I think that's what I want to be. I would like that to be my legacy. That the music that I played brought some good in the world, and balanced out the good and evil a little bit better. And I think that's what I want to. Yeah, that's what I'd like my legacy to be.
Well, good deal. I think you're well on your way on that one. So I thank you for all the great music. Thank you for this interview too. And like I
Sure.
said, I hope there's a lot more in the future. But I'm going to keep my eye on your itinerary, and hopefully, if you get within the East Tennessee, Nashville area even or something, maybe we can maybe I can catch one of your shows and we can bump elbows, if it's safe to do that by then. So but
Sounds good.
well, listen, thank you again. Enjoy the rest of your day off. Thank you for using some of that to talk to me, and we'll see you down the road. Okay.
Thank you. My pleasure. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.